Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Amen.
All right, so I thought that you all were going to eat first, so I feel like I'm in between you and eating, so I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time. But it's an honor and a privilege for me to be here tonight. First and foremost, I want to thank Jen and Deandra from J&J. They called me in earlier this week to ask me to do this. The person that they had asked to do this originally had a conflict and they weren't able to do it, so I'm just trying to fill in. But it is an honor and a privilege to be here. I love seeing all of the different faces, and I love seeing all the family and friends that are here to support all of you. I'm actually a mentor for the BTE program in Philadelphia, so being able to see the turnout here, like this is awesome because it's not always a given. So this is a beautiful thing to see. And then even though I'm also from Philly, I just want to shout out my man right here with the 49ers hat because I'm a 49er fan too. Okay, so like I said, and then also another thank you. I just want to say a thank you to the Ewing and Trenton chapters of BTE for allowing me to do this. I'm going to do the best that I can, so please bear with me. So the first thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to have everybody stand up real quick, if you can. Now what I want you to do is I want you to sit down if you've never been a teenager. All right, no, you can sit back down. I just want to break it up a little bit. The idea around that was, for the students, I want you all to realize that your parents were once teenagers too, even though they're not right now. So when they're giving you advice, they're giving you the best advice that they either they've experienced it or they just are trying to hit you in the right direction. So just want to give you that reminder that they're not giving you blind advice. They have been teenagers before. Times might have been a little different, but they've had their growing pains as well. So just want to send that reminder through that. So you might be asking yourself, okay, well, why they ask him to come in and do the speech? So when I met Jen last week, because we literally met last week doing a BTE event, I had shared my story on a career panel, and she had said, wow, you have a very inspiring story. And at some point, I want to bring you back in for BTE. I didn't think it'd be a week later to be a keynote speaker. But here we are. So, just to share a little bit about myself, and you heard some of it in the introduction. So, I work for Johnson & Johnson. I've been there since 2013. I am a graduate of both Community College of Philadelphia and Drexel University. I started my nonprofit in 2019 or 2018. It's called the P.L.A.N Group. P.L.A.N is an acronym. It stands for Preparation, Leadership, Accountability, and Next Steps. So in going through my own journey of life, when I look back on things, I realized that had I had a better understanding of those four concepts and setting goals for myself or just planning out my life, I would have achieved success a lot faster. But instead, it was kind of one of those things where you would speak to something that you thought you wanted to do. So it was like when I was in high school, I said, I want to play football and I want to be a chef. And neither one of those things happened. So when they didn't happen, my life just got derailed and I just ended up going down the wrong path. As you can see, I'm standing here today, so I survived it. But it is to say that things aren't going to always go how you intend for them to go. And the most important thing that you can do when that happens is to make sure that you stay the course. Some of the things that I wanted to touch on, because when I talk about the things that I'm experiencing today and the life that I'm living today, things are good. I have a great job, I'm in good health and everything, but there were some things that I had to overcome to get to this point. So again, going back to that teenager theme. So back in the 1900s, I was a teenager too. And during that time, there were some things that I went through. So for example, like I grew up in a single parent home. The term I think they use is latchkey kids. So at the age, since 7 years old on, my mother worked a lot because I was in a single parent household. So I would go to school and then go home. It would just be me, just holding down the fort, making sure that everything was okay. I also dealt with depression because, as I just mentioned to you, the two things that I really wanted to do football and being a chef. When those two things didn't happen, while I was in high school, it kind of derailed my path. So that was depressing. And then also dealing with death. There was a lot of deaths that happened throughout my journey with people that were very close to me. And I'm telling you these things because some of them you can relate to, some of them you can't, some of them you have not experienced them yet, some of them you will in the future, unfortunately. But the reality is that everybody has to go through something, right? And so what I always try to make sure that young people understand is that there's strength in your struggle. So whatever it is that you're struggling through, it's going to suck, and you're going to have to go through it. But once you get through it, there is an other side to it. So I just want to make sure that you all understand that, because right now, things could be going great, or maybe right now things aren't going great. But regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on right now, just know that there's always tomorrow. Like, never give up. Just stay focused and stay on the mission. Some of the other things that I had to overcome too was high school. So all of you, I'm assuming, well, not all of you right now, but the students, you're all in high school right now. So we all know high school is a 4-year process. It took me 6 years to get out of high school. Wasn't because I was dumb. Again, lost focus, lost my way, and just started doing other things. I didn't think education was important. But I did circle back and get my high school diploma. But in the course of those 6 years, I also had got kicked out of 2 high schools. So again, I'm just being as vulnerable as possible because I want you all to understand, like, I'm not perfect at all, and I've had my share of issues that I've had to overcome. But again, here I stand. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, and this will be the last thing going down that road, was that I'm actually a cancer survivor. So as of March 21st, I always got to remember 3, 2, 1. As of March 21st of this year, I'm actually 11 years cancer free. And that's something that I'm sharing with you because that was something that ended up being an additional monkey wrench thrown in, because I couldn't control the fact that I caught cancer. But the only thing that I could do during that time was just remain positive and to stay focused on the things that my doctors at the time were telling me to do. And again, here I stand, 11 years cancer free. So again, with the obstacles and adversities and challenges that you may face, some of them you'll be able to control, some of them you won't be able to control. But regardless of either side of it, just keep fighting, keep pushing. One of the things that I love about Bridge to Employment is that it's so much bigger than employment, right? So you all right now are interacting with professionals that work at one of the major, if not the biggest healthcare company in the world. You're also getting exposure to different experiences and opportunities that you may not necessarily get if you weren't in this program. And so don't just think about this as, hey, I'm going to this program and hey, one day I'll get a job. Look at it as, hey, I'm in this program right now, but hey, I'm creating new relationships. I'm getting exposure to new things. And this is really honestly the bridge to your future. It's not just the bridge to employment, it's the bridge to your future. So I just want you all to remember to stay the course, continue to cross that bridge, because you never know what's on the other side of it. And at the end of the day, as I mentioned before, there's strength in your struggle, and then your setback is your get back. So for any time that you ever feel like things are against you or things are not working out, just always remember that most of the people who you look up to right now, or most of the people who you see and you think are successful, they had their share of setbacks. I just happen to be standing here right now in front of you being able to tell you about them. A lot of times in life you don't get that opportunity. You only see the end of the work, but you don't get to see the work or the struggles that people had to overcome to get there. And everybody in this room has a story. Everybody in this room has something that they're struggling with, something that they're battling through. Doesn't matter your age, but again, just stay the course and stay focused, and I promise you that things will come out in your favor. So going back to the Bridge to Employment program. So the program is a good program, right? But the program is only as good as you make it. So if you're just showing up and you're doing the bare minimum, then that's what you're going to get out of the experience. But if you're showing up and you're telling the volunteers or the mentors, hey, like we'd like to do this, or we'd like to learn about this, they're going to do their best to try to create that for you. So that's another thing I want you all to remember too, is to always remember to show up to every experience engaged, because you never know what could come from that. Like even through this program, again, it's called Bridge to Employment, but it's so much bigger than that. You never know, maybe one of your mentors one day might be able to connect you with somebody to get you your first job. Or maybe they'll be able to answer a question that you need an answer to one day. And it's only possible because you're here in this program. So just make sure that you show up and you're present when you show up. And then I'm going to wrap up. So again, when it comes to life in general and this program, you can tie it both together, because again, both of them will be what you make it. The program will be what you make it, life will be what you make it, right? And so the key to Bridge to Employment is you've already completed the years that you completed. I think you're all in your second year. I think you have another year left. But just stay locked in. Don't get caught up in what somebody else is talking about, or somebody trying to pull you away from this program, or maybe the first couple of years weren't what you thought they were going to be. You almost done now. You're halfway across the bridge. So you might as well just finish that walk across the bridge, because I promise you on the other end of it, it's going to be something that's beneficial for you, whether you see it right now or you don't. And one of the other things that is really important for me to say is that a lot of times as a youth, you feel as though because you see the celebrities do stuff like this, you see them buy their parents like houses, you see them buy their parents cars, or do all these monetary things, right? But I can tell you right now, one of the proudest things that my mother has experienced with me is the joy that she gets being able to go out and just tell people all the good things that I'm doing. I think for a parent or a guardian that is taking care of you right now, the best thing you can do for that person is to let them know that all the sacrifices that they've made for you didn't go to waste. So I just ask for you all to just continue. You're doing the right thing now. You're in this program. You're obviously getting good grades. People obviously think highly of you, because I heard I know you have to get recommended for this program. So don't mess that up, because it takes a lifetime to build your reputation, but it takes a second to wipe it away. So with that, thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.